Thanks for tuning in to You See Me, focusing on the battle of self-love, acceptance, abuse, spirituality, and much more. Your host, Tina Wynn, will be sharing various ways and strategies that she used to overcome grief, addiction, and depression. You See Me is a self-expressed term Tina uses as a way of making people see the real you. For people to see you, you must first see yourself.
Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the You See Me podcast. I am your host, Mrs. Tina Wynn-Bridges, and you can find me right here at You See Me podcast and on the We Empower Network, Saturdays at 7 p.m. This is season number 3, episode number 8. In case you guys have missed any of the episodes, please go back and get caught up. So, guys, this is our wrap up on love. We have been discussing love all the month of February and our conversations surrounding love as we are preparing to transition into Women's History Month. So I want you guys to join us all the month of March as we discuss some of these women of the Bible and of our history who have contributed to where women are today. And last week, guys, we ended our reflection focusing on letting go of all the things we don't like about ourselves and allowing God to guide us, mold us, instruct us, discipline us, and use us, gathering all of life's lessons for our greater good, because you're going to come across some stuff, guys, while reflecting upon yourself that's really going to blow your mind. So we pray and we ask for clarity before digging into ourselves so that God can guide us, because we don't like it, but we love it. Remember, that's our motto, guys. And the more you dig into you, the more that will be revealed. But God is not going to dump it all in your lap at one time. He knows how much you can handle, and when in your walk, you'll be able to handle it, and it will be revealed to you little by little. And I'm just here as a vessel, being obedient to what I was called to do, and share some of the ways in which I have learned to connect those pieces so that it makes sense for us. Because for those of you, because there are some out there, I read my comments and my posts, that have this idea that I am exempt from conviction. Wrong, guys. I have to face me before I can face anything. And I am held accountable for everything that I put forth out of my mouth, whether it's for others or whether it's for self. I'm not just putting stuff out here that I don't apply to self first. I am able to take account of Tina. Remember, we must be able, account, and ability. You must know what you know and let others know what they know. And I don't share with y'all what I know based off hearsay. I share based off my walk and my journey. And everyone's will be different. And you got to know what you know. The point is, I see me, whether good, bad, happy or sad, pretty or ugly. I see Tina, not just my flesh, but every intricate detail of my spirit that houses this flesh, because our spirit is what provides life to the flesh. I don't always like what it is that I see, as we've discussed, but I love it. Point is, you must see you, and only you know what it is that you see about you and what you're going to let others see about you. And I thought I'd just give y'all that before we dive in, because I don't get caught up in debates of who I am anymore. And a lot of times people like to question me on who I am. That's a you issue. I don't deal with you issues. I deal with Tina issues. You got to stand on what your faith tells you, guys. Your faith is your faith. And if someone is able to come along and wither your faith with their opinions, then you have to check you. That's not a them issue. But anyway, guys, y'all know I'm a thinker. The thoughts never stopped. And we have discussed several ways that love can be joyous or love can be disastrous. And as we close out our love topic, it all boils down to choosing. It all boils down to your choice ability. Life is about choices, guys. And with that choice, we also have the right to choose whether we want our love to extend past ourselves onto others, or if we want to keep our love to ourselves, which kind of defeats the purpose of loving, because the purpose of love is so that we can give and receive it. So as Tina was at her reflection table thinking, and I can't stress to you guys enough how imperative daily reflecting is. You must look at yourself daily. It is crucial to the self-awareness process. So as I was reflecting, because that's what I do, it made me ask myself, is my love gentle enough to reach God or others? Or does it come with conditions and segments of harshness? Do the people I say I love feel joy when experiencing my love? Does my face say I'm welcoming or carry a warm smile? And we've been looking at some of the areas in our lives that love affects that could possibly cause us to condition our love. And one of those areas is our ability to be gentle and kind to others. Most of our gentleness that comes along with caring for and loving for others has been tainted and lost through the years of letdown, deceit, betrayal, etc. So it kind of caused a roughness in the way our love is now being delivered from us onto others, causing barriers and blockage in some of our abilities to carry a smile. And there's always been a specialty, at least to Tina, to a smile that only the person that's holding the smile is aware of. Because when I smile, only I know the reason behind it, and vice versa. When tearing into the layers of a person's smile versus what really lies dormant underneath it, you open the door to other things that aren't always transparent on the eyes of a smile. A smile carries one quality, though. No matter what's hiding underneath it, it shows strength. It represents a natural reaction to joy, love, and general well being. When you hold a smile with genuosity, it's an open invite to the person on the other end, saying you're friendly and that you are open for common interaction with that person. It says, I'm worthy of your time and your attention. Because let's face it, no one is willing to say hello or be polite to someone with a frown on their face. And not every time I smile, it's because I want to. Sometimes, guys, it takes a lot for me to hold a smile, but I've been through too much not to. So I choose to smile today. That's choices. It's a choice that you have to choose to make. But it's because I know if I hold a smile long enough, somehow I'm going to feel better. You can't smile without feeling good inside. It's not possible. So whether it be someone smiling back at me or greeting me with a kind gesture, that's what a smile can do for your soul. It can open a window to let love in. I smile today because it's my only choice. It's my only choice, guys. I used to walk around with a whole frown on my face all the time. It's not necessary for Tina today. When we think about choices, I can choose to sit in every feeling and emotion attached to life, or I can choose to smile and live life. because we keep forgetting that life is going to be life. Life is going to happen whether we want it to or not. And some of us think that if we sit in our emotions long enough, life is going to pause for us while we catch up. Wrong. Things will change. Sitting in your feelings is just that. You done grabbed the chair, you done sat down, and you are now completely present with that feeling. And what happens when we sit down, folks? We get comfortable. Some of us have become too comfortable in certain emotions and wonder why we feel embittered towards everything because we sitting in bitterness. You have to face your emotions standing, not sitting comfortably. Because when you're comfortable, nothing changes. I'm just saying. When we are not able to smile, we feel weak, and that can create a bitterness and jealousy in us, causing our love to only be useful to self. And that defeats the purpose of love. The purpose of love is to love and be loved. And some folks are just incapable of smiling because they sitting in their feelings. Smiling is an action word, guys. And when you sitting, you not moving. And we have to make sense of this stuff, guys. You know that one person in the room with the screw face? They face just always screwed up. Every other face in the room is smiling and they stand out amongst the crowd because they just got this evil, screwed up face. Everybody having a funky good old time. And here come Debbie Downer with the screw face and the negative energy. She done shifted the entire atmosphere and they become jealous because you carry something that they can't. Now everybody done went to happy to being down because here come this person with their negative energy and they want to know why everyone's smiling. That person with a bitter heart causing their love to be tainted and challenging to obtain. This is why we stay standing, guys. Tina's always standing because when you sit down and you get too comfortable, you start to envelop yourself in feelings that you could have let go of if you were standing and ready. When you encounter spirits like that can't even smile, you stay standing so that you could smile and keep it moving. You're not sitting there with them, comfortable in that foolery with them. Tina's always on standby. Just because you see a person carrying a smile all the time doesn't mean that this person isn't hurting or broken inside. Every time you see me smiling, don't means that I'm in a good mood. Sometimes it means that I'm so broke inside that I have no choice but to smile. And I'm smiling because I'm praising him in advance. I'm smiling because everything it is that I feel, I'm facing, standing because I know that God is standing with me. We not sitting in this. Some of us got to stop sitting. Being hurt or broken does not allow for us to be rough around the edges, just walking around angry and bitter at the world for no reason. And you have some people that's just walking around angry and bitter, taking it out on everybody in the world because they're angry and they're hurt and they're broke. They not, and guess what? You're not alone. Hi guys, Tina Wynn-Bridges here, your host of the You See Me podcast, inviting you guys to join me every Saturday right here on the We Empower Network and on my webpage at ucme-tw.com to gain access to the Building Bridges workshops and webinar series. Thank you. See you there. In fact, when you are feeling angry and hurt and lost in breath, that should be more of a reason for your heart to be softer because you know what it is to feel hurt. That shouldn't be more of a reason for you to hurt people. You know, they say hurt people hurt people. And Quita used to sit in her emotions, and I wanted everyone to feel what I was feeling. I didn't know how to smile and welcome people in. I didn't know how to do any of that because I was lost and I was hurt and I was angry and my face showed it. I didn't smile and my face said, "You better not speak to me." And I'm not sitting over here waiting for you. I was sitting housing my depression, guys. Nothing about me was welcoming to no one because that's what we do. We provide shelter to our emotions. Then we get angry at everyone that don't feel what it is that we feel. And it's insanity, guys. And for some of us, it has done just that. It has created barriers. We are so angry and so bitter inside because of life being life that we don't know how to be friendly. We don't know how to smile and we don't know how to unconditionally love. Or the love that we are offering people is rough and conditioned by hurt. It's not subtle or genuine. So, my final thoughts on love for you guys is we must learn to love unconditionally. And it can start with something as small as a smile. A smile shows a gesture of acts of kindness. It says everything is going to be okay. Even if you don't believe everything is going to be okay, when you see somebody smiling, that's what it tells you, that everything going to be okay. It can provide hope. It can uplift a down spirit. God's love, as we've been discussing, is conditioned and governed by us loving each other. God don't want us walking around blaming each other for things that life has created that was out of our control. He wants us to love each other in the same way that we want to be loved and in a way that he loves us. Not us taking life out on one another, because life gonna be life. Life is going to be life. And unconditional love is love without strings attached. Too many of our love comes with strings attached to it. I only love you if I only, and we talked about all of that. You don't base your love on what someone does for you in return, which is what some of us are doing. And we discussed this over the last few weeks. You don't get caught up in when love is only beneficial for you or how much you can gain out of the love. But we love unconditionally. Why? Because our Father in heaven loves us unconditionally. And love is eternal and for eternity, or should be. At least that's what the love that we should be delivering from us should be providing to others. No matter who we are or what we've done, God shares his unconditional love with us. Every day that we wake up with breath in our bodies, God is smiling down grace upon us. We are not in search of love or buying love. We are loving ourselves first because God loved us first. He gives that to us. There's no strings attached. And most people confuse no strings attached with that of setting boundaries. And we've discussed boundaries before, guys. God love has no strings, but there are certain principles to reaching him, which means that God has boundaries. And most of us, we don't know how to set boundaries in our life. And a boundary is set for you. It is for you to follow, not the other person. The other person only becomes involved when you invite them in. So when we bend our own boundaries, most times it's for us. There's something underlying in it for you, but we deflect it onto the other person. And then we blame them for us bending our boundaries. Oh, I'm going to go back on my word this one time. Then one turns to again and again. And before you know it, all your boundaries that have been laid by the side. You know what Tina was told? One is too many. One is too many. And most often, people are hurt, lost, broken, and bitter inside. And it's not because of what people did to them, it's because of what they did to them. They laid their boundaries to the side, got walked all over, and now can't handle the remnants of what's left behind it. They had no principle and nothing to stand on. They didn't see themselves. They let go of all their boundaries and just fell for nothing. And now they blame the world and they're bitter and angry at the world when the reality of it all is them reflecting and having to take it in and take exact ownership of them is too much for them to handle. Remember, we have to be capable of taking account of the things that we do. And the part that they played makes them angry and bitter inside. We have to stop laying our boundaries aside for other people and then blaming other people. Let's make sense of this stuff, guys. And their inability to cope compromises their ability to smile, and their nice face slowly vanishes. And that's what happened to Quita. I wasn't able to cope with anything that I was doing. So I walked around with a frown. And every time you saw me, I was frowning about something, things that I was internally doing to myself. Because remember, this is an internal process. It becomes external because what was inside of me, I didn't know how to let out. Only thing I knew how to let out was what was inside of me. So on my external, my face was frowning. And every time my mind got a glimpse that someone other than me was happy, my smile started to fade even more. And I was upset, and my face showed it. The only way to overcome bitterness and resentment is to acknowledge your emotions about things you've done to you. I had to accept what Tina had put Tina through. Because we definitely don't dwell over things we can't control. There's just some things in life that I just simply couldn't control. Tina, you didn't do them to you. These are things that happened in life, and now you can either overcome them or you could sit in them. I had to recognize how those emotions was affecting my behavior and work to release them. Because there was a point in time where I allowed everything Quita felt to become how Tina responded. And are we aware, folks, that everything we think will eventually turn from thought to word to action to character? Then it will become who you are. And that's what happened. It became everything I thought became who I was. You will become everything you think, as a man thinketh. Are we reading our Bibles? Every negative thought that I let sit in my mind became the same negative action that came forth from my being. And let's be clear, I can come before you guys week after week and share my thoughts, my opinions, strategies, and ways to cope with you guys. But those are Tina ways. That defeats the purpose. It is only through reading your Bible for self, getting understanding for self, seeing yourself, and accepting yourself that this process could even begin to work. What I am here doing is sharing ways in which you can look into self. And some of us, we're going to look deeper into ourselves than others. You got to know you and see you.
Hey, how you guys doing? This is Regina Hutt, the wellness practitioner at Empower Mornings. Join me every Monday at noon to work out with Regina on One Network.
This works by looking at self and self only. I see me. I need y'all to see y'all. I had to see Tina and see that me being angry and bitter inside, it wasn't hurting others. It was hurting me. It was blocking me. It was stopping me from reaching people who could potentially uplift me, encourage, and bless me from even reaching me because I always had the screw face. I couldn't smile or say I'm welcoming. Or because I had no boundaries, because I didn't see myself. I didn't know how to stand on my word. So I always took back my word. Nothing had no value. Now I'm bitter inside. Let's just pause, guys, and imagine, what if God went back on his word? Can we just think about that for a second? I don't even want to think about that for a second, guys, because we'd be in complete trouble. This world would be in complete mayhem. So let's scratch that one off the table, because God ain't going to ever go back on his word. We have to get to a place where we know how to smile and embrace self-love towards ourselves and others. And we do this by standing on our word, not bending and folding every time somebody comes along with a faith or belief or an opinion different than ours, because it will make you angry and bitter inside at yourself and at the world. We now walking around today with the screw face, all angry and bitter toward the world for things we allowed in our lives. We must say what we mean and mean what we say. When you bend, it's you bending. Take what you get and own it. Learn to stay in reflect mode. It is the only true way to love people unconditionally, is keep your eyes on you at all times. But by the grace of God, there go I. We tend to get caught up in what the next person may or may not be doing. God got a path in the journey for all of us. And who are any of us to look down or look upon or frown upon anybody? Love has nothing to do with any of the above. God loves us just because he understands we are not always going to get it right, and that none of us are even going to come close to being perfect to get it right. He understands every emotion and every act of faith. So moving forward, guys, let's approach ourselves and others wearing a smile, knowing that we ain't no better than the next. A smile of love that says, I see me. I'm able to own my part in this world, and I own every decision I make, whether good or bad. A smile that says, I'm no different than the man next to me, and I welcome your spirit. I will pray for you as you pray for me, that both our souls be saved from the cruelties of this world. Offer people a smile that says, I see you. When we can relate openly to each other, it makes our journey here that much more worthwhile. We tend not to feel alone. Treating people with the unconditional love of God is much more than I'll pray for you. Because if you're not regularly praying for you, then how can you regularly pray for me? Remember, we can't give someone else what we're not able to give ourselves. And that's another thing. We have to stop leaving our prayer life in the hands of others. We sitting here waiting for pastor and rev and bishop and deacon to pray for us when we don't even know how to get out there and pray for ourselves. You have to believe it in order to achieve it. When God is saying, I want to hear your voice, he wants to hear your voice. He wants your prayers. But we can't even crack a smile to invite God in because we too hardened in heart by the acts of the world. Folk, we must not let the things of the world alter our spirits from the joys of the Lord. When you are aware of self, whose you are and what you are, I guarantee you from this day forward, you'll have a continuous smile on your face and in your heart. Your love for self and others will also reflect that. Folks, I need y'all to go out, reflect on the love that you are giving, not only yourself, but to others also. Then stand yourself in the mirror, smile at yourself, see yourself, and do a better job at seeing others, because we are all in this together. Love with the love of Christ, then come back and see me. Thank you guys for joining me. Until next time.